Paul Harris that needs to be presented, so Phil is going to go ahead and do that.
It's one of the parts of being district governor that I really like to do, and that's to award Paul Harris Fellows. And President John, I appreciate you talking about the Day of Giving coming up for the Rotary Foundation. And I think you all probably are pretty much aware of the importance of the Rotary Foundation and the good that we use that foundation and the funds that you so generously give to that, not only here locally but around the world. And we certainly, if you came to the foundation celebration we had a few weeks ago, you heard a lot about some of those projects, both locally and internationally, that we're doing. And it never ceases to amaze me where clubs get involved in the projects they come up with. And the other part of it, what we're beginning to see, and what I really enjoy about the foundation, is clubs are coming together to work on projects collectively. It's no longer just one club doing a project, funding it. It's going out there, joining clubs together to work on projects. And so, as a district governor, we certainly appreciate all of you who so generously give to the foundation over the year and work towards your Paul Harris Fellow. So it gives me a great deal of pride to present this. This is a Paul Harris Plus 3 award today. So on behalf of our district, District 5440, and on behalf of Rotary International President Gary Wong, I would like to have Denise Juliana come up and get her Paul Harris Plus 3 pin. This one work? Can you hear me with this? Because I'm not going to stand behind. The podium. So I'm here today. What I want to do is kind of give you a little bit of an update on what's going on in Rotary, to talk to you about some of the things and some of the issues that we have here. But I want to sit here before I start that and tell you how thrilled I am to be at this club. I've had the opportunity over several years to get to know many of you through working on district committees, through working on certainly the Peach Festival and things like that. So I'm really thrilled to be here. This is a very comfortable club. I always feel good about coming here. I probably see Bill Braden more than you guys do. He's always coming to do a makeup over at our club. And, you know, Bill and I go way back. We were Cub Scout masters together. And it's one of the funny things, we must have done a pretty good job because the Boy Scouts of America is still in business, so we didn't ruin that. So it's always good to come here and see many of you. What I want to start off with our theme this year, and I know you've had this banner up here every meeting. And the theme this year, you're well aware of, is Light Up Rotary. And President John, you know, it is a pretty ugly tie you got on, but you know, I got a pretty ugly tie on too. If you haven't noticed this, it does match up with that theme and the banner up here. But I always like to tell people this, and for you guys, all you guys who've had kids or you have grandkids, this is the kind of tie you get on Father's Day. The most outlandish thing, it's got little sparklies in it. To do that, I have to tell you, when Sarah and I have walked around communities and I've had this tie on, people do look at you like you're some kind of nut to do that. But we're in the process, Sarah and I have taken this a step further, because we're going to get little LED lights and we are going to light this thing up. So we're real serious about Light Up Rotary. But I want you to understand the theme Light Up Rotary, which came to RI President Gary Wong. It came to him through a saying from Confucius. And that saying is, it's better to light a single candle than it is to sit and curse the darkness. It's better to light a single candle than it is to sit and curse the darkness. And when you think about that, it's exactly what we do in Rotary. We light up those candles. We extinguish the darkness. We do it individually, we do it as clubs, we do it as districts, we do it as Rotary International. So I really like that theme, because I really do think it hits to that. The other thing, and it just happened to be the other evening, we had the opportunity to go to dinner in downtown Fort Collins with some friends who came over from Greeley. And we were walking the street and I looked at all those Christmas lights out there. And I really got thinking about the theme Light Up Rotary and lighting those candles and extinguishing that darkness. And it really kind of hit me when I think of Rotary and I see those lights on the trees and downtown Fort Collins. That's what we do. We really do a similar thing. And so it brought it very close to home to do that. So we have to continue doing that. And RI President Gary has asked us through this theme to work on 4 things this year. One of them is growing Rotary. And I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about growing Rotary and why that's important to us. The other thing that he's asked us is it's time to finish the polio campaign. We really have to do that. We've been trying to eradicate polio for almost 30 years. Are we really this close? Yes, we are. They have not had a polio case in Nigeria in 7 months. That is extremely hopeful. In fact, to a certain extent, Rotary, along with the World Health Organization, the United Nations, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who you know have given a lot of money to us, think that there is an outside chance in the year 2018 we might be able to say we've eradicated polio. Now that would be a wonderful thing to have happen. And there's also rumors out there that if that indeed does happen, Rotary International has a good chance of being named the Nobel Peace Prize winner. And wouldn't that be something? But we have to continue doing it. And I know you guys as a club give a lot to the polio campaign, and I'm standing here telling you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because that's how we're going to eradicate polio. That is how we're going to sit and adhere to the promise we made to the children of the world to get rid of this disease. The third thing that RI President Gary has asked us is this concept called Rotary Days. And what it is promoting Rotary in our communities. And again, being here in Fort Collins, I know the Peach Festival was mentioned. You know that the 4 clubs in this community do a great job of promoting Rotary. I'm not sure we can get any better at doing what we do on that one day in August. And I thank you for all your help to do that, because it does make a difference. We had that opportunity to tell a lot of people about what Rotary does and how we are making changes to the world. And the last thing that RI President Gary has asked us to do, and it's a play on his theme, Light Up Rotary, he says we need to lighten up Rotary. Now that has 2 meanings to it. One, and I just heard that you had a fellowship event that was very successful. We need to make sure we continue doing that. Because we know that a lot of people are in Rotary because of the relationships and the fellowships that they build. But the other part of Lighten Up Rotary, and a message that has come from the President through the Board of Directors of Rotary International, is to not let the rules and regulations of Rotary get in the way of doing what we should be doing. Now I have to tell you that's an extremely powerful message that has never been given by Rotary International to all the district governors around the world. But it is now. And I take that very seriously. Not to let the rules and regulations get in the way. Does not mean we're throwing everything out, trust me on that. But it does mean let's be careful of how we apply those rules and regulations to make sure we're doing the good things that Rotary is capable of doing. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about growing Rotary. Okay. Anybody know how many Rotarians there are today in Rotary International? You want to have a guess? 1.2 million Rotarians around the world. Anybody know how many Rotarians there were in the year 2004? 1.2 million Rotarians. Now in 10 years, our numbers have stayed the same. And you can look at that in a way of going, that's a good thing. We went through a major worldwide recession, and our membership stayed right here. Good thing. Till I tell you this number. In that same 10-year period, Rotary International inducted 1.1 million people. They came in that door, went right out that one. I don't need to tell you but I am. We have a retention problem. We have a retention problem. All those people left Rotary. I also want you to understand that all those people who left Rotary did not go to the big Rotary Club in the sky. Okay? Did not. We have a retention problem. So let me bring it a little closer to home. Let me talk about North America. In the same 10-year span, in North America, we have lost 65,000 Rotarians. The numbers are going down. Because those numbers have been going down at a clip of about 6,500 people per year, the question has been asked, is Rotary relevant in North America? Think about that. Is Rotary relevant in North America? It is today. The question is, will it be in 10 years, 20 years? Because if you run those same numbers out and we don't do something about it, in the year 2070, it's a long way away, but we will have approximately 3,000 Rotarians in North America. And I will guarantee you it is no longer relevant with those numbers. So let me bring it down a little closer for you. Our own district, 5440, which by the way is all of northern Colorado, the entire state of Wyoming, a chunk of Nebraska, and a chunk of Idaho. And I can tell you it takes you a long time to drive around it. I'm also here to tell you in our travels around that, Sarah and I had one of the greatest insect collections on the front of our car. In District 5440, over the past 5 years, we have lost 7.5% of our membership. All right, so I'm going to take it a little closer to home, to our good community of Fort Collins, Colorado. In the last 5 years, and I looked at these numbers yesterday, the city of Fort Collins, we have grown 5% in population. Our Rotary clubs, all 4 of them, have lost 6% of our membership. We need to do something about it. And there are a couple of things. Rotary has done surveys about why people are not coming to Rotary. So here it is. 80% of the people out there have no clue what Rotary is. 80% have no clue. Number 2 on that list is the people out there who may know a little bit about Rotary. Go, we don't know if we're welcome in Rotary. Now does that shock you? Because when we walked in the door, you're very welcoming Rotary. The issue that we have in Rotary is to get those people to come into the door. But when they're on the other side, they go, I don't know if I'm welcome in this group or not. They might have something like a secret handshake or something. We do. You do? You got a president that wears weird ties, I'll tell you that. Number 3 and 4 on that list, I think you can figure it out. It's time and it's money. Why people don't come to Rotary. Okay? So we know that. We also know the retention issue. We know how to solve the retention issue. We just need to make sure we work at it. And the solution to the retention issue is getting people engaged in Rotary. Plain and simple. Clubs have to do a better job of engaging the people that come in. That just does not mean once they're done and they go from a red badge to a blue badge, they're on their own. We need to continually engage the people in Rotary to keep them here. Attracting new people through all these surveys. Rotary has said, we need to get better about the message. We need to have a consistent message. I don't know how many members are here. I can't add that high to do that. But there's a whole bunch of you, and if we went around the room and I asked you what is Rotary, I'd probably get as many different responses as there are people here. But Rotary is asking us to give a standard message about what Rotary is all about. So I'm here to tell you what Rotary is. Okay, you ready? Here it is. We join leaders, we share ideas, we take action. Sound weird? Shouldn't, because that's exactly what you do. When you want to do a project, you bring your leaders in your club together. They sit around at the table, sharing ideas, yes, maybe arguing at times. But when all is said and done and consensus is reached, you actually go out and do something. We join leaders, share ideas, take action. But I'm willing to bet if I went outside, found some poor soul, and said, would you like to join an organization where we join leaders, share ideas, and take action? They would look at me like I'm a nutcase, and the tie does not help. So we got to add a second part to that whole thing. And the second part is why you are in Rotary. Why are you in Rotary? So I'm going to tell you a little story about why I'm in Rotary. But it's more of a story of what Rotary does. A couple of years ago, my club gave some money to the Big Loveland Club to do a project to make dentures for people that couldn't afford it. Anybody in here a dentist? See, I'm telling you right now, my experience in going around the district, we got to attract more dentists to come to Rotary. I have no clue. Almost every club that I ask that question, there's no dentist. Appreciate that, Vince. Appreciate that. Very good. So we gave some money to do this project, to build dentures. And then they asked and said, would anybody like to volunteer to be a dental assistant? And Sarah and I did that. We didn't know what a dental assistant does. We still don't today. We weren't very good at it. But I was in there one day being a dental assistant. This lady came in, had an awful mouth. Just awful. I mean, it looked, oh, it was terrible. Terrible. So the dentist did what dentists do when they took the molds and they did all that kind of stuff to build some dentures, which they did. She came back about a week later. I just happened to be there when she came back. They fit them, ground them, did all that stuff so they feel good. When all was said and done, the dentist handed her a mirror. And you know what she did? She cried. Cried. And I stood there and I said, wow, we gave her dentures. And it dawned on me. I said, no, we didn't. We gave her dignity. She could smile again. She could go out and face the world. She could apply for a job. And I think about that because I go, what Rotary really does, we do give people dignity. We give them hope. We give them opportunities. And in many, many cases, we save lives. So when I sit and go, we join leaders, share ideas, take action, and couple that with the fact that I'm in Rotary because we give people hope and opportunities and save lives, then I have a message for people to tell them what Rotary is all about. But there's also a next part to that whole thing of trying to get people to come into Rotary. Because we need to tell people what they get out of Rotary. And if you stop and think about it, we did Paul Harris Fellow here. But you know as well as I do, there are all kinds of places that you can give money to. There are other places around here, you don't have to be a Rotarian to go volunteer. You can do all that. So what is it that people get out of Rotary that they're not going to get from doing these other things on their own? Well, there are three things out there. First of all, personal growth. And I am willing to bet that each and every one of you, from being in Rotary, has grown as a person. Why? Because of the different people you've gotten the opportunity to meet and to share things with. You have grown as a person. Rotary brings that to you. Number two on the list, you get professional development. Now I like to use this. This is a big club. You do things different ways because of the size. But I use this example. If you think about a smaller club, you know what happens in a small club when you miss a meeting? You become president-elect. You never want to miss a meeting if you're in a small club. But when you become president-elect, you learn things. Rotary provides you training, how to be a good president. You have to learn how to run meetings. You have to learn how to put agendas together. You have to put committees together. And you have to do what I think is one of the most difficult tasks in Rotary, and that is leading Rotary volunteers. We are an honorary bunch. Trying to get people to do everything, that kind of thing. We all have our opinions. It is a difficult job. But you get professional development in Rotary. And the last thing we get, and this comes out of a phrase I hear from people that tell me and go, I don't have time for Rotary, I have a family. And I get that. So this story deals with my 2 children, who when they were very young, we would make them go stand in front of a supermarket and collect food. We would make them pick up trash. We would make them ring the bell. We took them to fellowship events. And for those of you that have small kids, had small kids, you knew what the reaction was on a Saturday when you tell them, we're going to collect food. They would go, no, I don't want to go, I hate it, it's boring. Sarah and I were good parents. We'd look at our children, think about what they said, and go, too bad you're going. Because it was not a democracy by any stretch of the imagination. But what happened after many years when they had graduated? Both of them said, thank you. Thank you for taking us and doing those activities. Thank you for bringing us to those Rotary meetings. And it really wasn't because of what Sarah and I did, but they had the opportunity to meet people from different walks of life who were there united for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to make the world a better place. My children got that value. And I'm here saying that I don't believe you can get those values in many other places, but Rotary is a place you can get them. So when people sit here and say, I don't have time for Rotary because I have a family, I go, you need to join Rotary because of your family. You will get a value system that you just can't find someplace else. If people, and we can tell people when they come to Rotary what they're going to get to do that. So we do have issues in Rotary. We got to bring more people in, as I said, and we need to retain the ones that we have. And I think a lot about this. I go back and, as John mentioned, I retired from the Colorado State Forest Service after 35 years. We used to have a saying in the Colorado State Forest Service that went like this: there are really 2 good times to plant a tree. 2 good times. One is today. The second was 20 years ago. I like that saying because I apply it to Rotary. We need to attract people today. We need to find good quality people that are out there, and we know there are. We have approximately 360 people in Rotary in Fort Collins. Nobody can tell me that there are not more quality people out there that deserve the opportunity to be part of this organization. The 20-year deal, that's youth. We have to bring more youth into Rotary. We have to expand our Interact, and I know you work diligently with the Interact clubs, but we need to get better at expanding that. We need to expand our RILA programs, which we're doing. We need to expand our youth exchange programs. We need to do more, and thank you for being here, with Rotaract. We got to get better at it, and we're not very good at it. But we're trying to get better, and we know that. The other part of this whole thing, when I think of my forestry career, is I think about all those trees that are out there, and we used to work diligently trying to maintain healthy forests. And I use that same concept when I think about this whole concept of retention. Retention really is retaining the people, but it's maintaining the health of your club and our organization. by keeping people in here. We need to do a much better job of that kind of thing. So what's really happening? Well, Rotary International, as I said, lighten up Rotary. Let's not let those rules and regulations get in the way. Rotary is allowing satellite clubs to be formed. 5, 10, 11, 12 people want to be in Rotary. They don't have to reach that magic number 20 to become a separate club. They can become a satellite club of your club. They just meet at a different time, different location. Still members of your club, just meet at a different time, different location. Oh, and if they only want to have 2 formal meetings a month, fine. Third one could be a fellowship event, fourth one could be a hands-on activity. Rotary says go for it. The gal who's going to be the featured Saturday night speaker at the district conference, which by the way, all of you need to be there because you already know how to get to this hotel, and it's going to be right here. So there'll be no excuses of getting lost along the way. The gal who's going to be the featured speaker on Saturday night, young lady, she's been in the military, has some health problems, accomplished violinist by the way. She just started a brand new Rotary Club. Pretty impressive. Oh, but I got to add on, they run that whole Rotary Club off of Facebook. Rotary International says, go for it. That's what we mean when we say don't let the rules and regulations get in the way. We need to make sure we don't do that. Your district. Now, for those of you that have not had much contact with your district, I'm here to tell you that the sole reason the district exists is to help you achieve your goals and objectives. That's why we're in business. We're not here to tell you you have to set this number as a goal. We're not here to tell you you have to raise this much money for the foundation. We're not here to tell you you have to increase your membership by this amount. We're here to assist and provide support for you to achieve your goals and objectives. In taking that to heart, we've restructured our district committees. We actually have more widespread membership across our district, people from smaller communities. And so you know, there are some people, when I talk about growing Rotary, there are some clubs out there in their communities, unbelievable. The Lander Rotary Club, they are a community of about 8,000 people, 84 members. Torrington, they're a community of about 5,600 people, 78 members. Now you have to understand, we want those people on our committees. They're doing something right. We need to find out what it is that they're doing and sharing it. You guys are doing wonderful things in this club. We need you. We need you at the district level, so that we can share those ideas and help clubs become bigger, better, and stronger. So that's what we're doing at the district level. So this whole growth issue, really, we have to draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough. And I'm not saying that to you that you need to just work on membership all by yourself in the Foothills Rotary Club. The membership issue we have is a Fort Collins issue. We need all 4 clubs to be working together to bring more people into Rotary. We need to do it. It's the only way we're going to deal with this. We've got to draw that line in the sand. We have to change how we do things. What attracts people, what keeps them into Rotary, we have to change. And lastly, as I was saying, we are in this together. This is not just a Fort Collins issue, a Cheyenne issue, a Loveland issue. This is a Rotary issue. We need to change that. We need to get better at it. So here's the only thing I'm really going to ask you to do out of all of this. Anybody here like to get a gift? Everybody's going, there you go, thanks, Jim. Nobody likes to raise their hand because I think you're all afraid to call on you to do something. Well, I'm not. But the companion question to that, anybody like to give a gift? Sure you do. So here's the one thing I want you to do, and I'm asking you to do. you're here today. I would love to get a really inflated head and go, you all came today to hear the district governor. I thank you for being here, by the way. But you're really here because of each other and what you do. Within each of you, you have this desire to do the things that Rotary does, because you know you make a difference in the world. I have a simple phrase for that. I call it Rotary passion. So I'm asking you, especially here, as we come into this holiday season, to give that gift of Rotary passion to somebody. I don't know who you're going to give it to. You're going to have opportunities when you get together with your family. You're going to have opportunities when you get together with people in your businesses. Give them that gift of Rotary passion. Tell them why you're in Rotary. Tell them what Rotary does. Because when you do that, and you do it from the heart, then we indeed will end this issue. And the one thing that we have to all keep in mind, if you stop and think of the good things that we do in Rotary, here in Fort Collins, and I'm including local projects and international projects, we do an awful lot of great work. You know it, I know it. But here, if you stop and think about it, we have about 350 Rotarians in Fort Collins. Imagine what we'd do if we had 700. Imagine what we'd do if we had 1,400. Imagine if we kept 1 million of those 1.1 million people that went out the door. We would have 2.2 million Rotarians around the world. And that's a powerful number. That's how we change the world. That's how we light all those candles. That's how we light up Rotary. Thank you very much.
It's our club's tradition to have our presenter sign a book. It's also the tradition that the president bring that book.
I can feel it coming here. It's going to be a crescendo.
One of those personal development skills. I'm working on those. I forgot to bring the book. I'm sure we will catch up with each other at some point. And we'll have you sign that book. So thanks.